Hello traders, it's Samurai Trader here. Welcome to this recording, how to master the art of day and swing trading. In today's recording, I'm going to be covering a number of tips and ideas for you on trading the CL futures contract, and we're going to be talking also about some head stuff, because we all need, especially as traders, a regular checkup from the neck up. We all suffer from a hardening of the attitudes, and it's especially true when it comes to traders. It's very important. Now, as always, my videos are raw, real, and unedited. I don't have a script in front of me. We just have the slides, so if I fluff anything up as I go along, you'll have to forgive me. I do need to display the risk disclaimer. There is a risk in trading. Please feel free, if you haven't read one of my disclaimers, to review the disclaimer. Very quick advertisement: if you haven't requested my free training manual, in the link below, please request my manual, and also my ebook, The Truth About Day Trading. Both very comprehensive ebooks. Better still, visit my website, become a member of the Day Traders Fast Track program. Ladies and gentlemen, the ad is nearly over. Stay with me a bit longer. Okay, for $197 you obtain over 200 hours of online video instruction, dozens of handouts and notes, 50 hours of recorded live trading session, free indicators. There's a ton of stuff there for $197 all up. That is it. Most important too, please subscribe to my channel. This is the last program you'll ever have to subscribe to, and I'll quickly tell you why. This is not about an advertisement right now. I want to really show you why you should be listening to me right now, and almost to every word that I have to say, because this is critical. I've been doing this for over 25 years, and yes, I've made some horrendous mistakes in that time. But what I've done over that time is I've learnt a huge amount. I've fortunately been in a fortunate position, I should say, to be able to buy just about every book, every program out there. Okay, I've had the resources to do that. What that has allowed me to do is, over 20 years, 25 years, is to really put together a huge amount of research. I trade every day. I'm involved in the markets every day. I have over what is it now? Yeah, I think it's 4.5. Is it 2.5, 3.5? I can't remember. It's in the thousands of now members that own my program, and I've got well over 100 ongoing coaching clients that I work with regularly. That has given me a huge insight into the R&D and what's involved in trading. My research and development books, I've got over 43 notebooks now of notes I've taken over the years as I carry out my research on trading. What does that mean to you? You're thinking, what the hell has that got to do with me? It's got to do with that I know trading. If there's a better indicator, a better strategy, a better idea, I tell my members about it. If I found an indicator that sold for $200, $500, $1,000, I would be that was brilliant. I'm the first one that will yell it from the cliff top and let you know and tell you it's great. You should invest it. But traders, as Gann famously said, there's nothing new under the sun, and it's just so true. So as I get into this, I'm about to sow some seeds for you, is to create a vision. What is really important is that you approach this, what I have to say, and perhaps I should have put this right at the start of this PowerPoint, is let me start with the power of questions. This is the typical trader. Why does this always happen to me? Can I really do this? Which creates a massive feeling of self-doubt. This will never work. Oh, I can see a fault there, traders, and this is the reason why so many traders will fail and always will. We need to ask ourselves empowering questions with the right presupposition, such as I cover some ideas with you in a moment, I want you to be thinking, what can I learn from this? How can I use this? What's great about this? How can I make this even better? What's the presupposition? You can improve it. How can I improve my entry? The problem is, with so many traders today, they're failing to accept responsibility. If something doesn't work, and I already know some of you are saying, oh, this won't work, or I don't like his voice, or oh, so what, he's got all of that gear. You may as well turn the video off right now, because you won't make it, traders. I want to challenge you to succeed as traders, which means I need to be direct, and it's just so important. So stop looking for the reasons why the strategies I'm about to show you won't work, because they do. Focus on the reasons why they do work. Don't let negative past experiences steal your future, the shadow of your past. And so many traders, because they've had a tough time, or maybe they've bought a course that hasn't worked for them, and as we sometimes say, many times it's not a trading strategy problem, it's a thinking problem. That is, where is our head stuff? So let's start to really drill down. I want you to be thinking about this. There's a great movie, many of you have probably seen it, called Margin Call. If you haven't, I'd really recommend you rent the movie or buy it. It's really good. Now, at one stage here, Jeremy Irons is the chairman of this group, and they were called into the boardroom at 4 a.m. in the morning for a very, very important meeting, a critical one about the survival of this firm. And he says to an analyst there, now the analyst actually is a rocket science by training, but he decided to get involved in financial services because, as he said, the money is much better. What Jeremy says to him is this: speak to me as you might to a young child or to a golden retriever. It wasn't brains that got me here, I can assure you of that. In trading, it's not intellect that gets you to succeed, it's discipline, patience, following the rules. Now, where this is relevant to trading and what I'm about to show you is this: Richard Branson once said, and I quote, "Complexity is your enemy. Any fool can make something complicated." In training traders over many years now, the big thing they're always saying, can you break that down? How could, is there an easier way of doing this? And it has me thinking all the time, how can I simplify the process? How can I make it easier? And so if you consider Mark Douglas, now Mark Douglas unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago, and he talks a lot about making your strategy simple, making it where it's pattern based. And what I now know is trading is a pattern solving exercise. That is what gives you the edge. And as he says, and let me quote him there, the best traders have developed an edge, and more importantly, they trust their edge. Now, in his great book, he's got a fantastic book called The Disciplined Trader. If you haven't already read it, it's a must for every trader. And here's what he says: to become an expert, choose one simple trading system that identifies a pattern, preferably one that is mechanical instead of mathematical, so you'll be working with a visual representation of market behavior. And that's probably the most important lesson I want to start with. Is you want your trading, you want the strategies and ideas that you use, your techniques, to be pattern based. The other thing you want to be doing, traders, is something now that which really is the crutch of what I'm about to show you, is to use a higher time frame and to enter the trades based upon a lower time frame. So the dark blue line represents a higher time frame, what we call an anchor chart. Now, it is really almost impossible to lose money if you're entering a trade at the start of a trend. Now, of course, you need to identify, how do we identify a trend? And there's some really nifty, simple ideas now, but you want to ride these trends. Now, of course, picking tops and bottoms is a fatal mistake that many traders make. So what I'm going to be doing here is just showing you and going through accurate stats of trading purely with the trend. That is, we relying on a retracement or a pullback and trading in the direction of a major trend. Now, many of you, if you've watched a number of my videos, you hear me talk about 5x5. Yes, I can. And in my coaching room, where I coach members 2 mornings a week, it's morning my time, it's 2 evenings a week if you're in the US, we've got this chant: 5x5, yes I can. 5x5, yes I can. Or if you're trading a 2B, which is what we're going to be talking about in a moment, the 2B, it's 3x8, yes I can. 3x8, yes I can. Because it's all about, in the end, creating wealth. And how do we do that realistically? If you haven't already seen this table, I'll quickly go through it. If you have, please stay with me. This is very, very important. So let's assume here our end goal is to walk away with $200 a day net, okay, 1,000 a week. So to do that, to stay within what I call the 2% maximum risk rule, and we won't get into money management today, but the 2% rule means you must not risk any more than $100. Okay, so you need to have 5,000. Now what if you don't have 5,000? Well, if you've got less than 5,000, say if you've only got 2,000, you're almost certainly going to have to start trading mini accounts with the Forex market. You're going to have to start with there and maybe build up to the futures market. Okay, so we won't get into the markets, etc. So if you've got less, that's okay. You can start by trading mini Forex contracts and you can build your account, because the same strategies work exactly the same on stocks, on Forex, on futures, because it's their trend continuation strategies. The 2B is a trend continuation. So back onto this, you net 200 a day after commissions. At the end of week one, we now have $6,000. We're still trading one contract. We want to wait before we increase our contracts. We want to double our money, so we're earning the stripe. You're earning the right to increase the contracts. Okay, now many of my clients are wealthy or have got $50,000, $100,000 to trade with, and as I point out immediately, if you came to me and you had 100,000, I would say go and invest 95,000. Right, you haven't earned the right to trade 100,000. You start off in sim, you master the strategies on the simulator, then you progress to trading one contract, you double your money, then you go to two. Right, I promise you traders, this is the only way to develop the skill set. In trading, we say there are old traders, there are bold traders, and there are no old bold traders, meaning the bold ones, the ones that want to risk 4 or 5% a trade, and those that even want to trade 2% long term, because as you build your account you want to get that risk down to about 1% per trade. This is the stuff that a lot of people won't tell you about, but it's critical. Trading any more than a 2% risk is suicidal. It really is, because you will have 5 losing trades in a row. You will. So you're down 10%. If you've got a 5% risk, you've just drawn 20, you've had a drawdown of 25% of your account. Anyway, we're digressing a little bit, but the point here is, based upon netting $200 a day, okay, and at the end of a week, and to do that I've got to say this one thing: you really need to be averaging 300 a day. You've got to allow down days. You will have down days, but at the end of a week we want to be sitting there with a net $1,000. Then we double it. Then we start trading 2. When we double our account, we start trading 3. When we've doubled or increased or got another $5,000 to be exact in our account, we go to 4. Another 5,000 in, we go to 5 contracts. The end result, you have the potential within 16 weeks, the potential of earning $10,000 a week. Now, traders, just be open-minded for a moment. What if those that have a compelling future are the ones that succeed? When you've got a big enough why you want it, the how will appear on. I'm about to show you how to do this. Now let's just say here you only average $100 a day. Okay, it's going to take you 40 weeks to get there, not 16 weeks. Okay, so it's going to take you a fair amount, a fair time later. Now I know you really can't live on 10,000 a week, but you can certainly pay a few bills. So what if it takes you 40 weeks to get there, if you approach it from a more conservative point of view? So this is very, very powerful. So I'm about to show you some charts in a moment, and so what we're going to be looking at here, traders, is the CL, which is the black gold oil, for Renko. Now the date, you can go back and look at the charts. It's the 21st of November, the day I'm recording this, so it's Thanksgiving tomorrow. And you know, we had average volume, was also inventory day. It really doesn't matter what day it is. You get this fairly consistently. All right, it's been a good day, but this is very, very consistent. So over 23 hours, I mentioned that the market is open nearly it's open 23 hours a day. Now in that time there were 34 trades. It's not skewed to any specific time frame. As you'll see, the trades are fairly consistent over that time. With CL it's $10 a tick. Yes, if you trade range or if you trade tick charts, it works equally as well. Okay, I happen to love Renko because it smooths the chart out. Okay, it just makes it easy to recognize some of the patterns that we have. But once again, if you're already doing something that's working for you traders, what I say to all traders is this: don't stop what you're currently doing. What you do is you say to yourself, okay, with what Ray teaches, how can I use that to improve what I'm already doing? Here the presupposition, how can I use that to improve what I'm already doing? Very, very important, the language that we use as we learn and master the art of trading. It's just so important. So over 23 hours there's approximately 34 trades. Now you could some may interpret it and say, okay, there were 37, but really and some I bypassed because they were too, it's a pattern. Okay, so some I said, okay, we won't take that, but 34, there's, and as you're about to see, there's plenty of room for leeway here. There were 22 winners at 10 plus tick trades. So what I've done is, as you're about to see, I got out or recommended that you exit it at plus 10, and many of these would go up to 20 ticks, as you're about to see, which means you can trail your stop. There were 5 losses, so 22 winners, 5 losses at minus 10 ticks. So you're up 220 ticks there. You're down 50 ticks. There was also 7 break-even trades. Now with the break-evens, what I like with CL and the full Renko, once you hit plus 7, you then go to break-even plus 1. Okay, so it ticks in your favor. You're up at plus 7, where you're after ideally a minimum of 8 to 12 ticks. Okay, you tick up to there, you go to break even plus 1. What I've done is that covered the commissions and everything, but I didn't even include those results in this bottom line. So if we also round it off at $5 round turn, so with the commissions, $2.50 in, $2.50 out, that's minus 17 ticks. So the end result there is your net result would be over the 23 hours, which you're not going to be up all 23 hours, would be around 1,530. Now, all right, for the negative people, go and take off another $5 or $6 or $700, whatever you want to do. I don't care. All right, I pity you if you're not taking this seriously, because this works. This strategy works, traders, because in the end, all you need is this. At the end of the day, is $200 to create this sort of income. I'm showing you here a strategy where it was $1,500 for the day. Cut it back to $1,000. It doesn't matter. The fact is the margins are great with this specific trade, and there's a ton of other trades on the way through. In other words, where I spoke to you about these 3x8s, this is a strategy where we have a deep pullback, and I won't go into all the rules here, but you've got a deep pullback, and in the meantime you've still got all of these smaller trades, what we call the 34Bs and the rule of ones, etc., which gives you these sorts of trades. But then you've got your deeper pullbacks, and with the results I'm showing you, I'm working on 10 ticks, not just 8 ticks. Very, very important. So let's go and have a look now, before we look at what a couple of members, what they say about it. But let's look at this. So what we're looking at here is, as I mentioned, is the Renko chart. Now many of you like using a tick chart, so the strategy, there's one there, there's another one right there, so it works equally as well on tick. But I like the Renko because it smooths price action out. When you smooth price action out, one negative is this. See how you've got this really nice rally here. If you're looking for other entries, it's difficult because you're going straight up. Natural fact, when you look at a tick chart will quite often give you more entries to re-enter or to jump back in or to add to your position. But that's another conversation for another time. So let's just look at some random areas here. First of all, and I know some of my members will be watching this, okay, here let's just scroll back here. Okay, so here is a 2B. This is a classic 2B, members, you know what the rules are. Just go and have a look at your anchor in this and you'll see this is a 2B every day of the week. Okay, all right, nice winner. Now there, that's 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140. So there you could have actually picked up say 120 to 140 in that move. And likewise with these ones, the little blue dots here, this is an ATR. You can use a parabolic, you can stay with the runners if you wish. Okay, so here you could have stayed with this runner all the way up to there, which would have given you well over 200 per contract. And actually this is a TA trade. So let's just talk 2Bs now. A nice little winner, a nice winner. Okay, now here you've got a stop out. Okay, so this is a loss. Now remember I said to you that we had 5 losses. 2 of those losses would have been stop and reverse. They turn into T4s. You see this, so you could have actually 2 of those losses would have been recovered with a standard reversal trade called a T4, which comes off a failed 2B, nearly always turns into a T4. Okay, now your next entry was down here. These are virtually 100% mechanical pattern-based trades, so you should be getting virtually exactly the same trades as what I'm getting here. Okay, a 2B. Now this one only went up 2, 4, 6, 7. That one only went to 7 ticks, then it reversed and then it continued. But under my rules, once I hit +7 and you're in on the close of the 3rd candle, okay, so and these are 4 pip bricks, and each one of those hash marks, if you're not familiar with Renko, is 2 ticks. So you're in on the close of a 3rd. You can get in early, but that's another conversation for another time. But that's 7 ticks. That's a break-even scrub trade. Nice trade, nice trade, nice trade. That's a break-even again. Then we had a, what have we got there? Actually that was a break-even. Then this one is a loss. Okay, this one's a loss. Now there are a few reasons why this is after a T19 when we start to ring alarm bells. Okay, but then we had another nice 2B. Now we've got, for members watching this is a 1D. You know what a 1D is. You want to be cautious straight after a 1D. Now these traders are all mechanical trades. Thank you very much. 20, 40, 60 there, that trade you did not profit to here. Your stop, by the way, is just under this here, so thank you very much. Then we roll over. Now in the meantime, you're missing out on a lot of other little trades like here. Some of these are called T8s, very mechanical. Let's just scroll along. Then you had another there, another trade there, break even, another nice one here, another one nice here. Now notice how on a lot of these 2Bs you can trail, and this is where 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82, there's your 200 just in a lot of these. Okay, you get these, and this is the beauty of Renko. And so you've got a number of exit options. You can go for a fixed target, you can trail using an ATR, you can trail using reversal candles. There's a whole lot of options that I teach you in getting out. Here you've got a failed 2B. Here we've got a break even 2B, but what are these after? And for my members watching, you've got a 2D pivot bounce, and we know that usually that represents the market rolling over, so that's not a good area to be trading. Okay, so then we come down here. I've still marked this up as a trade, and this was actually a loss. Okay, it's a 2B after another one of these zones. Thank you very much, thank you very much. Then we had the inventory report. Okay, so during the inventory report, which is 10:30 on Wednesdays, even though there's some great 2Bs here, we don't take them. Okay, we're not going to take them because the market is just crazy. Anyone that watches that, and it wasn't really until what time was that become okay 20 minutes after the inventory report that it become tradable. So there's a 2B. This one here, you're still in it all the way down here. Okay, so you're entered here, you're still in it all the way down there. Your next 2B is not, look, some may take these as a 2B, but what you do know is traders, when we see EMAs converging, this is a real danger zone. So even though we could have taken a punt and said our long term is almost oversold, yes, 2Bs, they would have all been winners, but the fact is they're marginal. So you don't want to take these. You want to be waiting always, traders, and this is just not with the 2Bs, this is with any trading, really trading with the trend. You want to wait for a fanning of the EMAs, and this is where traders, some traders will never make it because they don't have the patience to wait for the fanning. Now the fanning is where you see your EMAs are starting to part. And what does it show me? This shows me I have a trend. Okay, now I'm also looking at an anchor chart. So here we've got another 2-4, that was a break even. There's a really nice trade here. Then we had a great, and then we had T8s all the way up. This was just absolutely killed it. I'm not even going to go into these traders, but these are what we call rule of ones. And thank you, I mean, this was these are not included in the results I've just given you. Every market, every decent market has 2 or 3 of these usually every day. The ES not as much, you will only get a couple of these, but the strategy works on ES. It really doesn't matter. But here these are what we call T8s. T8 all the way up. All right, now that move there, 20, 40, 60, 80, I won't even go into it. Let's just scroll on, look at some more 2Bs. Okay, thank you very much, thank you very much. The market rolled over. Then we had here we go, finally 2Bs. Now your 2B is actually there, not there. There's your 2B just there. And here this is T8s all the way down for my members. Now here in this particular case, you actually got, did we get stopped on this one? 24, oh no, you're still in all of those. But then you had that was 20, 40, that was just a break even. Then you had a really nice 2B after that. Okay, another home run. Now just on trailing your stops with Renko, you've got a whole lot of ranges and a lot of options, I should say. You can use the what we call the trigger line 8, which is my blue line. You can use my ATR. You can wait for one reversal candle, because the beauty of using Renko is that when we get the rule of one, we've got just here, as much as we may have exited on the first reversal candle, there is a re-entry signal there as well. So you can also jump right back in the market and pick up these, or you wait for your ATR, or of course you trail your stop. Now in my coaching program, this is where we my coaching program is 8 2-hour sessions, which I run for private members, and this is where we cover this, you know, once again, it's what's that, that's 16 hours of comprehensive training over a 4-week period, and we go over hundreds of these examples. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering what's my coaching cost, it's $497 for the first month, but if you want to continue, it's $197 thereafter. And I should say, traders, that's it. I don't have any other upsells. I'm booked out with my one-to-one clients, so you can't, I'm totally booked out with that, so you can't get one-to-one. You can join the small private groups, which I do 2 2-hour sessions, but it's $497 once only if you choose to do that. However, in the Day Traders Fast Track program, I teach you on video over 2Bs. Everything is there. You don't have to come and do my coaching. If you want to be up and running in 4 weeks, say live trading, you may choose to do the coaching, as many of my members do. That's why they're in my coaching. I want to be live trading in the quickest possible time. But $497, it's peanuts, right? You for a really good bottle of wine, that's what you're going to pay. Well, maybe not everyone, but anyway, back onto this. So that's a 2B, nice winner, great winner, great winner. And not only that, it was then T8s all the way down, which are absolutely just killers. So what I haven't gone through with you is a heap of other setups, like the T8s, the rule of ones. We didn't talk about the divergence trades, the pivot bounces. There's a heap of others. Now, very, very important that I actually say this, traders, and it's this, that if you're fairly new to trading, you want to start off by mastering only 2 or 3 setups, trend following strategies only. Unfortunately, so many traders want to try to pick highs and lows, tops and bottoms of a market, and they get slaughtered. Become a specialist. Yes, one thing that may happen, you may get bored at times while you're waiting for the setup, but hey, if you're earning 5 to 10 grand a week over say a 4-hour period per day, and would you be prepared perhaps to be bored for 4 hours while you're just waiting for these setups? What the heck, why not? You see, unfortunately, anyone can go and virtually anyone can open a trading account. Virtually anyone can buy a book and they think they're a trader. I'm just being very direct with you here right now. But it takes practice, discipline, and the right setup. You don't need fancy indicators. You don't need, to spend a fortune on indicators. Most of the indicators I use are available on basically almost any trading platform, and some of the platforms some of my members come to, if they don't have it, I show them what alternatives they can use. But I'm digressing here. Anyway, this is one of my coaching members. Actually, this is rebuttal over, we're just laughing about how I get slammed at times, the strategies don't work. No, the fact is they're just not good traders, or they're not disciplined. Look, everyone loves to play the blame game in this business. They really do. The fact is, if you're following the trend, you're entering the trend in the direction of an anchor chart, it's very difficult not to make money, truly. So here's what Tommy says. Here's a rebuttal, 3x8s, and he sends in his live account, etc. It just works brilliantly. Just waiting here, it just sends them in. Lots of members there. I'm not even going to go and bore you with all the different testimonials there from members. And then what I haven't even shown you, and this is from one member here that's been a member, this client here. First, I want to say I follow you and your methods after many years. So this is an old client here. Now what he's doing, he's coding all of these for automatic plotting. And actually, I hope you don't mind, mate, because my members, I'll have it that they can buy it direct from you anyway. But as he says here, I've got a setup, it's called a slingshot, the T2. And as he states here, the results have been great just on the T2 alone, which is a trend following strategy based upon a retracement or a pullback and a trend continuation. You use your entry chart trading in the direction of a higher time frame. This is what we're basically doing. We're waiting for this. We've got the overall longer term trend. This is the most valuable lesson I can probably ever give you traders, is to do this and to just follow with the trend. Yes, I teach you how to recognize these market turns. We've got a great, very, very high probability turning strategy called a 1 and a 2D. It kicks butt with divergence trading. Even if you don't trade it, you still want to learn it, because you want to know when not to continue with the trend as well. You want to know when the trend is coming to an end. And that's another thing, traders, is that when you enter into periods of consolidation, like we saw that area where I said was wishy-washy, the EMAs were sideways, I have my members, I get them to reframe the chop. I say welcome the chop, because what comes out of it 99% of the times after a period of consolidation is what? A great breakout. So you want to welcome the chop, but what you want to do is to know what to look for and when to know that chop, that sideways market has finished. And that's what I teach you in the program. So traders, what are the lessons out of today? Follow the trend, trade the retracements. Don't, a retracement or a pullback, a trend continuation, the T1s, the T2s, the T25s, the slingshots, the 2Bs are all what we call trend continuation trades. They're not breakout strategies, they're trend continuation. Now you can't be any quicker than these. Let me just show you this, and this is where I'm just amazed people say. So see this here, you get a retracement back, you're following a trend. Okay, so this is a longer term and you've got an even higher time frame, 2 to 5 times higher, and there's different rules on what time frame you use. Okay, so see this, you get a pullback here. Now you're in back into this trend. You could get in on the second. I prefer to use the third, being what we call swept into the market. When you've got a rule of one, you're in on the close of the first. You're in on the close of a first. Here I'm in on the third. There's specific rules why we do that. You're in on the first. Okay, now here you're already in this trade, and that was 20, 40, 60. That was a 7 tick, so that was a break-even scrub. But up here, but the important thing is this: a breakout trade is when, if you draw a horizontal line, you have a fractal break and you're in down here, or you're in, well, actually there. You can't get in any quicker. Okay, yes, you could get in maybe on the first reversal candle. All right, now, you know, so you're into where people say these don't work. The only thing that doesn't work if you're not quick enough, or if you're not following the rules, because here we can see we're in a downtrend. So what we want to do is wait for the retracement and get in on the trend continuation. That is the secret to successful trading. Now, when it comes to indicators, traders, and I'll finish up on this, virtually every indicator you trade is a derivative of price, meaning they calculate once the price action is plotted. Using a T2, you're in on the second candle that continues back with the trend, and a T25 quite often is the very first candle. You can't get back in a trend any quicker. Really, about the only what's the word for it, forward-thinking indicator or predictive indicator, and let me just show you this, and just one more thing here, is really your floor pivots. Okay, a floor pivot is really a predictive indicator because it's plotted in advance of time, and floor pivots are what we call magnets. Okay, let me just quickly show you this. Like if you're entering this T8 trade, you know with a very high probability you're going to come up to the floor pivot. All right, you could almost bet the farm on this sort of trade here because you're so close. Floor pivots are what we call price magnets. They really are. Okay, so floor pivots are very powerful. There's something else too. You can't really see it. See these black lines? Notice how we get areas around that. They're what we call the 80 cent, 20 cent, and round numbers. So that one there, that's 55 a barrel, that's 55.20, that's 55.80. Different markets have different predictive magnets as well, and in my program we go through that a lot, because even though you might be, say for an example, trading the 2Bs, so let's just say here if you enter this 2B here, it also for members this happens to be a bet the farm as well, as you can see. So here you've got a bet the farm 2B, you know, up above you got the 55.80. The 55.80 is what we call a price magnet. Okay, so for deciding to trail and pick up 2040, that's over $200 in that move. There's a very reason why you'll definitely want to trail here. All right, because the magnet is just above. They are predictive because you've got a really high probability of knowing where the market is going. So look, I will sign off. Once you get me going, I get really excited about this. Traders, I live for trading. I love it. All right, love me or hate me, but listen to the research. I dig this stuff. I've got thousands of members, and you know, just so much research they send in. You know, as I've said back here, I've got members coding my strategy, wanting to sell them, and coming to me wanting to do deals because they work. But I've got to say, they're not rocket science. That's very important. Trading is not about intellect. It's about trend following and learning how to recognize a trend, learning how to trade that market, knowing of course that every market has its own personality, but you can do this, traders. You just need to put in the screen time. Treat it as a 90 to 180 day internship. You know, people read a book or they see a YouTube video and they want to be live trading in a week. That's not the reality. 90 days is. You can be doing it specifically and particularly if you are following the trend. You can do this, and as I mentioned with the chant that we have, and by the way, in the coaching class with our members, you know, the We Will Rock You by Queen, boom, you know, and they boom, you know, and I've got this here. We get them, our members, 5 by 5, yes I can, and I have them doing that because what it does, it puts them in the right mental state. And you know, once again, where you are headwise makes a massive difference. That is, if you're sitting there thinking, oh, I could never learn this, you know what, you're probably right. Okay, if you approach trading with that mindset, I could never do this, you're right, you're absolutely right. But on the other hand, if you approach it, gee whiz, it's going to take a little while to pick this up, but I'll do this in time, you're right, because confusion is a doorway to a new understanding. And as I say to members all the time, don't get frustrated, get fascinated. When all of a sudden you approach mastering the art of trading with the approach of, look, I don't quite get it, but I will have the aha moments. And what'll happen is you'll be watching my videos or going through coaching. As I say in coaching clients all the time, is I warn them right up front, some of this stuff the first couple of days may go straight over your head. You jot it down, and what'll happen is in 3 or 4 days you go, aha, that's what that means, now I get it, it clicks. But what happens is so many traders give up, or they get frustrated. You know, frustration's good, it's that doorway, you're nearly there. The 2B ain't rocket science. The T8, the T2, they're not rocket science traders. It's not a game of intellect. In the end, what you want to be doing is really doing this, surfing the waves. Probably one of the most important things for you to learn is to learn how to recognize a trend, and the great news is that ain't rocket science either. So traders, I will sign off. This is probably 15 or 20 minutes longer than what I wanted. Now drop me an email if you've got any questions. You can get me directly at trader@I'mADayTrader. You can go to my website up there, you can find out about my coaching. There is no other upsell, traders. 197 will get you everything you need. If you want a really fast track, it's $497 to join. And yes, I know many of you know I charge $5,000 a day for coaching one-to-one, but I'm totally booked out. I only have very limited time, and I don't take new clients on for that anyway. So you can still join my group coaching, but you know what I say to clients? If you've already got some experience, start with the 197. All right, with my basic program. It's not even basic, you know. Go to my website and have a look at the video, what you receive. It is the most comprehensive program in the world. Go and have a look at everything you get. Now I will sign off, traders. Once again, if you're watching this tomorrow, Thursday, happy Thanksgiving. If you're watching it later on, once again, drop me an email, and good trading. Thanks, traders.